much by their students. Yes, ma'am.
So how did they discover this show?
So funny how my films get found.
Yeah.
I personally choose not to just throw my stuff out into social media. He knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody who knew me. And he sent me a personal letter in the mail. Go figure. I'm a very private person. I have an Instagram and I follow no one. Go figure. I mean, he had to work hard. And he was the chair of the history department. And he sent me a letter in the mail and I was like, honey, look at that. So he wanted to know more about Hatshepsut. So it was impressive.
One way you can do that is through film festivals, through word of mouth, reaching out to, let's say you have a film that's about a certain type of subject. Okay, well, one thing that you as a filmmaker could do once you get into the marketing stage is to look up what other organizations or universities delve into that specific subject, if it's a niche type subject, right? And you can reach out to them. You can send them a screener or a trailer of something that might, pique their interest in your particular film. I mentioned a few minutes ago, YouTube is an incredible platform these days. I had no idea. I thought I was stuck in the past when, YouTube creators, you put up a channel, and you put a short film or some things up there, and you gain an audience, and eventually, if you're really good and you're niche, and you start getting an audience, you can actually make a lot of money. Well, that still is just as valuable. But right now, believe it or not, there are distributors that specifically distribute to certain channels on YouTube where they make a lot of money. That's a whole different thing than simply having your own personal YouTube channel. And then there's the other things like, if you want to get into personal distribution, you can do, there's platforms like Bitmax. Has anyone ever heard of Bitmax? Oh, I'm surprised. Okay. Bitmax is an incredible company. You can look them up. You can go to them with a completed film, and they will take your film. What they've done is they've figured out exactly what does Apple TV, Amazon Prime, Tubi, and all of the big streaming services, what do they require for a film to be accepted on their platform, right? So they've hired all the specific engineers and editors to take your film and bring it up to the standard to where it will meet exactly step by step by step what Netflix will require if it's going to acquire your film, what Apple TV will require. Now, you do have to have a film that is something that would be interesting enough for their platform, but usually the biggest hurdle for an indie filmmaker to get their film on a big platform like that is the requirements, right? After they've got the film made. It can be the greatest film in the world, but if it's not something that they will accept on their platform, it won't get accepted. So you have to go in another direction. So Bitmax, you pay them a certain amount of money. It's usually less than $2,000, something like that, right? And they will get everything up to snuff and put it to the point where they will actually present it to Apple or to Amazon or to Tubi, etc., for you as part of your agent. They'll be like your agent for distribution in that way. And they take a very small percentage, very small, like minimal percentage once the sales start coming in. And once you get on that platform, the bigger platform, the smaller ones will want to have you as well, because you got bragging rights. Hey, I'm on Apple TV, I'm on Amazon Prime, I'm this, I'm that. And also, anyone who wants to be a producer as a further career, one of the biggest problems that people have in qualifying for the Producers Guild is having a film, 2 films on those types of platforms. It's really not that big of a deal. You got 2 films on Apple, 2 films on Netflix, etc. You qualify. Yes.
Terence, so BMATS, which I know is like Film Hedge, right? Film Hedge, you know that company, right?
I do, yes.
They're more or less the same, right? Style?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
But also, just like in any other business, you got to do your due diligence.
Exactly.
You don't have to just go with just one because I said it. There's like 4 or 5 that you can go to.
Right.
Some of them will be more specifically workable for you than the other ones will. Do your due diligence, find the one that works, reach out and see what happens.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, I know it was a great workshop. title it, make it, sell it, pay it forward, right? I'm wondering, is it possible to sell it before you make it? In other words, can one market a script?
Mhm.
What would be
Definitely.
a way to do that?
Oh, yes. Yeah, you can definitely. Okay. Yes, but with a big asterisk there, right? Usually, someone who is selling it before they make it, they already have that name, or they already have that relationship with those people that are putting up the money, or they already have that agent. Like I said, one of our mentors is the guy that acquires films for Sony Picture Classics. They will actually get involved in the scripting stage of a film that they plan to distribute. But that's because they've worked with that director. That director's already won an Academy Award or been nominated for an Academy Award. As an indie filmmaker, yes, it's definitely possible. You can actually go to, again, I got to speak to you guys as indie filmmakers. It's not the same thing as a studio filmmaker. In fact, studio filmmakers are probably maybe 1, 2, 3% of all filmmakers.